Friday night, the Supreme Court voted to allow an abortion pill to remain widely available on the market as appeals play out in lower courts. Reactions are coming in from President Biden and other political figures following this decision. The drug has been on the market for more than 20 years. Shelley Malashi has what's next in the legal battle.
We need to not let politicians and judges try to make it illegal.
It's a striking victory for abortion rights advocates in the continuing battle over abortion. A stay from the Supreme Court late Friday means medication abortion drugs, specifically the drug mifepristone, will remain available in the U.S. without restrictions in states where abortion is legal. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris applauded the High Court's decision, with the VP saying, "Our administration will not waver in our commitment to preserving access to essential medication and defending the FDA's ability to approve safe and effective drugs." While their votes were not disclosed, Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito made their dissent public. CNN Supreme Court reporter Ariane DeVoe explained more on Alito's thinking.
He said that he did not think that these patients would be harmed for now if the restrictions were left in place because the appeals process is going to continue.
The case now goes back to the Fifth Circuit Federal Appeals Court with a 3-judge panel set to hold a hearing on May 17th and then issue a decision sometime after.
We will have to make sure that they don't do the wrong thing, and we will do everything we can to preserve the right of women to receive this drug. They deserve it. They need it.